I'm Robin Catling, and this is Write On. Join me in my author journey as I delve into the craft of writing, bringing you tools, tips, and lessons learned the hard way so you don't have to. How many orphaned protagonists? Ever thought how many orphaned protagonists there are in fiction? Why are there so many? Is it a staple, a trope, or even a cliche? Why does the orphan feature time and again in the novel? Did somebody whisper coming-of-age story? Writing a post on character traits, I realise my fantasy series is filled, perhaps overfilled, with orphans or those abandoned by family. Just how many orphaned protagonists are there in fiction? Writing coach Joe Bunting just produced his own extensive list. Generations. The orphan protagonist runs right through literature from the ancient Greeks to present day. Summarising Bunting's list, you can see just how prevalent it is. 19th century. Cosette, Tom Sawyer, David Copperfield, Pip, Oliver Twist, Peter Pan, Mowgli, Jane Eyre. 20th century. Harry Potter, Ram Mohammed Thomas, Anne of Green Gables, Tarzan, Pippi Longstocking, Sophie from the BFG, James of the Giant Peach, Matilda, Luke Skywalker, Uhtred. 21st century. Alexander Hamilton, cheating, Theodore Decker, Werner Fennig, Pai Patel, Lisa Memminger, Alex Rider, Cersei from The Witcher. Superhero orphans. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, The Flash, Black Widow, Iron Man, Star-Lord, Scarlet Witch, Captain America, Killmonger, Professor X, Magneto, Daredevil, and Blade. Disney orphans. Cinderella, Snow White, Simba, Anna and Elsa, Mowgli, again, Aladdin, Peter Pan, Lilo, Rapunzel, Anastasia, Tarzan, Annie, Arthur. And finally, the fantasy genre. Frodo, Richard Cypher, Lyra Belacqua, Eragon, Geryon, Kvothe, Vin. As Bunting notes, orphans are such a character trope in fantasy adventure novels that it's hard to find one without an orphan protagonist. The child unbound. The orphan supplies an instantly sympathetic character, all alone without family. Most of them come with a rebellious, independent spirit and strong character arc. The orphans are the seekers, the adventurers, the outsiders, the underdogs. Orphan protagonists come in two sizes. The child protagonist. Without parents to constrain and limit them, the scope for adventure and misadventure abound. The orphan walks into huge risks, dangers, and threats. All that extra trauma just becomes character building. The orphan has the scope to make terrible decisions and mistakes. They run headlong into dire peril that supervised kids don't get near. The adult protagonist comes with layers and layers of childhood trauma and baggage to deal with. In fiction, all orphans grow up as isolated outsiders, rebels, rejects, and nonconformists, if not outright basket cases. The orphan seems to suffer a mental condition that makes them a violent vigilante more than any other member of society. We're looking at you, Batman. What's my motivation? The circumstances of growing up an orphan. It challenges their sense of self-worth. Cue abandonment issues. It provides the kind of drive to succeed or survive that regular family somehow doesn't. This is fiction. All drama, all the time. It also triggers a search for belonging. Both adult and child orphans naturally lean into the found family trope and the search for a place or community to call home. It's an easy, some say lazy, way to complete a character arc. Beware the orphan fake-out. There's a much despised device in adventure fiction of the fake-out death. A beloved character dies, and a few chapters later miraculously reappears by dint of resurrection or miraculous escape. On the flip side is what I'll call the orphan fake-out, where our orphan protagonist suddenly discovers parents they didn't know about or were hiding in plain sight. Lyra in Northern Lights. Just saying. Execution is everything. The difference between hideous cliche and welcome trope. Either it's a crass plot twist or a cosy hug of satisfaction. Writer beware. Parentis absentia. We can extend a lot of these character traits to the pseudo-orphan. This is a character with absent parents to the extent they drop out of the character's life and give them free rein for orphan mischief. Think Home Alone, Bella in Twilight, and many others where the absence of parental figures allows for adventure. Swallows and Amazons, The Railway Children, The Famous Five, Nancy Drew, The Hardy Boys. All escape the parental clutches to indulge in wild adventures. Take it to the extreme, you get Lord of the Flies. Supposedly safe institutions allow just that freedom for adventure. All those magic schools, boarding schools, space academies, and the like. No matter how absurdly dangerous. Hogwarts? And don't get me started on Fourth Wing. In loco parentis. Where institutions typically provide supervision in loco parentis, so does the wise mentor. It almost goes without saying that the orphan will find a wise mentor in the shape of a wizard, shaman, loyal retainer, or other interested party, mostly with ulterior motives. Hugh Gandalf, Dumbledore, Merlin, Brom, Alfred Pennyworth, John Captain My Captain Keating. Note the high mortality rate in the mentor profession. Some of our orphans get through several, Obi-Wan and Yoda for example, because the whole point of the orphan is they have to grow up on their own. That means you take out the parents, foster parents, surrogate parents, pseudo-parents, and anyone who looks like a candidate parent. Writers are mean to their orphans. It's a tearjerker thing. I've done it. Isolation games. The primary attraction of the orphan protagonist is isolation from the warm bosom of family. Thrust into the dangerous clutches of strangers, they must learn who to trust and who to oppose, build a found family, take on society, and build their own identity through adversity. Even better if you can do it around the holiday season. Any holiday season. And as hinted in the opening, orphans are a staple of the coming-of-age story type. It's far more challenging to come of age when you have to do it on your own without guidance. That's all for this time. Thanks for stopping by. You can like and subscribe to the channel or go to robincatling.com to check out the blog.